and this is Credit with Maddie. Thanks for watching this video. This video is for people who do not understand what makes up a credit score. So at the end of this video, you should accomplish these 3 things, right? You should know the 5 factors that make up a credit score. You should know what those 5 factors are and why it makes sense that they are how a credit score is built. And then you should understand the general formula for how to raise your credit score up and make it better. So those kind of things are of value to you. Those are things you want to learn. Then tune in for the rest of this video and hopefully you can get that information. All right, so if you've ever kind of wondered, it feels like your credit score is just wavy, you have no clue what's going up and down with it, why some people have a 600, why some people have 800, it feels like it's just this enigma of just it's just random, right? Like, it doesn't feel like, you probably understand a little bit that, having a good credit score means you're responsible with paying it, but like, how do they even make a credit score? How do they make, the decision on what your score is? So this is how it's calculated. Your score is 35% payment history, 30% credit utilization, 15% length of credit history, 10% credit mix, 10% new credit, right? So obviously that might not be super straightforward. So I'm gonna break each one of those aspects down over the course of this part of the course. And I'm also going to tell you if you have problems in each one of these different aspects, what things you need to do in order to fix it. Now, payment history, right? This is 35% of your score. So this is just, do you pay your bills on time, right? So do you have late payments? Do you have collections, derogatory marks? That is payment history. So 35% of your score, if you just paid all of your bills every single month, right, that's going to be 35% of your score. That's going to build up your credit report. Credit utilization, okay, so that is how much of your revolving credit you're using, meaning your credit card balances. So if you are using a lot of your available credit, this is based on like a percentage. So if you have $1,000, you have one credit card that has $1,000 limit, and you use $1,000 of that $1,000 limit, you're using 100% of your available credit utilization, and your score is going to tank. Now, if you have one credit card and it has a $10,000 limit, and you owe $1,000 on it, right? Then you are only using 10% of your total credit utilization, and your score is probably going to stay good. So even though those are both people who have $1,000 of debt, there is nothing outside that is, changing each person's situation, right? Both of them have $1,000 of debt on a credit card, probably at 25% interest that they're holding. So to most normal people, they're both in the same situation. Not to your credit report, okay? So in your credit report, they're just basing it on how much you had available to use. So basically, it's saying, hey, if you had $1,000, you'd use it. So they're basically saying if you had $10,000, you'd use all $10,000, which isn't necessarily true for people, but that's the way that it's scored. So length of credit history, that's 15% of your score. So that's just how long you've had accounts. So if you had a credit card for 10 years, that's a lot better than a credit card you've had for 10 weeks, right? So that's 15% of your score, is just keeping these accounts open for long periods of time. Credit mix, that's the different kinds of credit that you have. So there's revolving credit like credit cards, there's mortgages, there's auto loans, there's personal loans. So you want to have a good mix, meaning you have one or two of kind of all of those different things. And then new credit and inquiries. So an inquiry is when they pull your credit report to try and give you some kind of lending product, right? So if you apply to get a credit card, typically what they're going to do is they're going to pull one of the credit bureaus. So they're going to pull TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax, or some combination, right? And that's going to result in a hard inquiry on your credit report. So when you get a hard inquiry on your credit report, your score is going to usually drop 5 to 10 points. And then new credit also will drop you a couple points, and also new credit will drop your total age. So if you guys are kind of wondering, like what is credit score, right? Credit score is essentially just this this number that determines how lendable you are. How much, whether or not banks should extend to you capital, and how risky you are to basically give money to. I think a lot of people do understand that that is what credit score does, but what you're going to learn here in the next few steps as I break down each one of these aspects is why each one of these things affects your credit score. And when you can kind of think of it more like putting yourself in the lender's shoes, you'll start to understand a little bit more why each one of these aspects matters and why they are kind of weighted the way that they are. Thank you for watching this video, and if it was something that you felt like you got value from, you want more content like this, then I have started a school community, SKOOL community, where I help teach people how to fix their credit, how to build up to an 800 credit score, and how to get $100,000 or more of no doc, 0% interest business funding. I have a 1 hour office hour that I have every single week that you can ask me questions there, and we actually will fix your credit for you if you are a member of that community. So meaning we will remove inquiries, charge-offs, collections, bankruptcies, any of those negative remarks. We will fight and dispute those things for you. So if that sounds like something that you could get value from, you can click the link in the bio and join the community, and you can get started today learning more and getting more educated in the credit and business funding space.